Now we are going to multiply scientific notation numbers, and we have two scientific notation number here. Our first step is to multiply the first factor, which is 2.8 times 7.5. So 2.8 times 7.5 would equal 21. Our second step is to multiply the power of tens when they have the same base. So since this is the same base and that's the same base, it would be 10 to the third power times 10 to the fourth power, which is the same thing as 10 times 3 plus 4, which is the same thing as 10 to the seventh power. Now we want to write it in scientific notation, which is our third step. We have our first answer, 21 times 10 to the seventh power. And we want to make sure, hey, is that in scientific notation? And if you look at it, it's actually not in scientific notation, because 21, if you look at it, ask yourself, is 21 greater than or equal to 1? That is true. Now ask yourself, is it greater than 10? And that is false. So what do we have to do with that decimal? The decimal is technically here. We're going to move it this direction. Since we're making that when we're making that number smaller, 2.1 times 10, we have to add this and it will be 8. This is our new answer here. Now we are going to divide scientific notation. And the first step is to divide the first factor. So we're going to take these two and divide. So in step 1, 1.702 divided by 7.4. That's going to equal 0.23. Now our second step is we're going to divide the powers of tens. When you have the same base, you're going to subtract now. So we have 10 to the fifth power divided by 10 to the eighth power, which is the same thing as 10, 5 minus 8. If you have $5 and you spent $8, how much do you still need to spend? How much do you still need, or you still owe, which you owe $3? Our third step is to make sure your answer is in scientific notation. Now let's take our first one, 0.23 times 10 to the negative third power. We know for sure, and we're going to ask ourselves this question, is 0.23 greater than or equal to 1? That's a false statement. Is it less than 10? That's true here, but we have a false statement. Both of them has to be true. So we're going to move our decimal. And if we move our decimal, we're going to move it to the right one time, which our new answer is going to be 0.2.3. We could erase the 0 times 10. Now something goes up. What happens to my power? Since I'm making this number bigger, we're going to the right. This one's going to go down 1. We have to make that smaller. And to make it smaller than -3, it will be -4. And this is our answer here.